Hey, what's going on, guys? So we're here looking at patch notes. Yeah, again, Jesus Christ, they seem to be releasing patches so quickly these days. Either that, or I'm just lazy and it takes me forever to upload. But nevertheless, we've got yesterday's patch notes. Apparently, I thought I checked yesterday, but obviously not. So we got some new god skins, an Amaterasu skin, Foxy. I think it looks okay. I think probably the best thing about it is the voice pack.
I'm not scared of hounds. They're cute.
So that's pretty funny. We got a new Susanoo skin that looks a little bit like the dude from Tekken. I can't remember his fucking name for the life of me. I think it began in Y. Yoshimitsu. Is that his name? Fuck those boys. But yeah, a nuts voice pack.
I'm a master of both blade and circuit.
That sort of hurt my ears, so it might have done the same for you. Sorry about that, boys. We've got a new R skin. She looks fucking sexy though. I mean, she's like wearing nothing, and this is like all fucking lingerie and shit. Like, yes, fucking please, Noir. Fucking sexy bitch. So yeah, all three of these are going to be part of the Odyssey event, which is starting when 317 comes in, which is obviously the patch notes that we're looking at right now. We got Terra Mastery skins. So if you play Terra, then fuck yeah, you get your Mastery skins. We've got some new God card art. So I don't actually think the skins will be changing. But the card art will. So it's kind of cool. Doesn't really make too much difference. Some achievements, as always, if you're interested, have a little pause and see what's cracking. The Odyssey is back. Embark on the journey that will last until Smite World Championships at the 2017 High Res Expo, which is January the 25th, something like that. Every 2 weeks, we will be releasing new content from direct purchase that will grant you Odyssey points. So direct purchase means you got to use gems. So it's fucking expensive, but that's the way that they do it. Which in turn will allow you to unlock even more content. Purchasing content, however, is not the only way to get Odyssey points. Each week there will be 7 quests to complete that will reward you with even more Odyssey points. So the Odyssey content that's been added with 317 is the Foxy Amaterasu that we just looked at, the Susanoo that we just looked at, an Odyssey loading frame, so I'm kind of interested to see what that will look like. Pardon me, guys, Jesus. The new R skin, sexy as fuck, that's a collection reward. So if you collect all 3 of these, you get the new R skin. So yeah, that's pretty dope. Now this is interesting. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, but it could very well turn out to be a bad thing. But you know, either way, you can just fucking ignore it. If it's shit, then you can just ignore it. So who fucking cares? Jingtang's Mountain. Take part in Smite's first ever PVE experience. Now PVE stands for Player versus Environment. If you dare. This new 5-player co-op game mode combines the best parts of an MMO-style boss encounter and wave-based survival game mode in a truly unique experience. So what they're trying to say there is it's like a raid boss. So if you've ever played any MMORPG like World of Warcraft or anything along those lines, they've got big bosses. Jingtan's going to be a big ass boss. They've combined that with a wave based survival mode sort of thing. So the best example of that would be Call of Duty Zombies. So the idea is, so yeah, let's just read on. It's a diabolical challenge, wreaking. I'm not too sure about that, guys. Of the dark power which has corrupted Jingtan. So Jingtan's being corrupted, and now he's standing on top of this mountain, and you got to try and kill him. And for some reason, my Xbox just turned on. Players will begin at level 13 with 7,500 gold. They will then fight randomly selected encounters and try to defeat them in the time limit. Upon success, players will move to the next round, which will be more difficult in defenses and damage. The top players will be shown on a leaderboard. Da, 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 da. So the idea is you just got to try and get through the waves. Obviously, at the beginning, it's going to be easy, and as it goes on, it's going to get harder and harder and harder. It's just going to be who can get the furthest. So yeah, I mean, it sounds interesting. I actually like the sound of it, but it could be a shit show. I mean, Hybrids have been known to release shit and get it pretty wrong, so we'll see. I'm not going to be a pessimist about it. Some item changes. Ansel now has an increased radius on the silence. So Ansel has a built-in passive that basically means that when you take damage from an ability, so for instance, if a mage hits you with an ability, anything within a 20 radius of you was stunned. Sorry, not stunned, silenced for 1 second, I believe, which is longer than you'd think. They thought that the 20 radius wasn't big enough, so now they've increased it to 30. So it's kind of cool. I'm not sure it'll make too much difference, but it's obviously them trying to balance stuff out, and I appreciate that. Huge fucking change, guys. Celestia Sleaze now. You don't really see too many people building this. It's actually a really good item, especially against hunters. Like, a lot of hunters will build full crit. This is fucking fantastic for countering crit. And on top of that, it gives you 70 physical power, which is a shitload. Now it gives you 90 physical power protection. Now it gives you 90 physical protection, which is the highest in the game, alongside Hide the Armenian Lion. That's fucking really good. I expect this to be built a lot more often. And if you're thinking about it, try it out, because that's a fuck ton of protections. Like, that's really, really good. So they're obviously trying to bring that back into the meta. I'm guessing casuals will pick it up as well. Ninja Tabby. Now this is interesting because Ninja Tabby was always statistically worse. There's people on this game, and especially the professionals as well, that will sit there and number crunch each item at the very beginning and throughout all the stages and on every single god that it's viable on. And Ninja Tabby is one of these ones where if you compare it to Warrior Tabby, it's always worse. The attack speed that you gained from it would never outweigh the damage that you get from the extra physical power that you get on Warrior Tabby. So for that reason, the only time that you'd ever build Ninja Tabby is if you were on a god that just required a shed load of attack speed. So for instance, like Kali could build it, but I think even I've heard from the casters when I was watching some of the SPL that even on gods that require a ton of attack speed, the only time that it's worth doing it is you buy Warrior Tabby first, and then you build your build, and obviously somewhere in your build you have Quins, and then at the end you swap out your Warrior Tabby for Ninja Tabby, and that's when Ninja Tabby becomes relevant and actually becomes better than Warrior Tabby. If you're on a god that uses a ton of attack speed, and if you have Quins already built into your build. So it depends how perfect you want to be about it, really. But as far as like getting the best out of everything, Ninja Tabby really wasn't very viable, and not many people would pick it up for that very good reason. Now the attack speed's gone up from 15 to 20%. 20% is actually a lot. I mean, 15 was sort of like, well, it's 15, but an extra like 25% on top is a fucking huge amount. So yeah, 15 to 20, it might not sound like a lot, but that's an absolute ton. And now you get 100 mana with it. That's actually pretty fucking good. That 100 mana could allow you to build other items instead of Transcendence. Because obviously there's some very hungry assassins out there, and equally some hungry hunters as well, as far as it comes to mana. So this could be a way to get around it. But yeah, anyway, enough about that. That's cool though. So now these two boots, reinforced greaves and reinforced shoes. So that's the physical one, and that is the magical one. They now have a new passive, which each time you take damage from an enemy god, so not from minions, you gain a stack, increasing your physical protection and magical protection by 5. This stacks up to 5 times and lasts 6 seconds, refreshing with each stacked gained. So if you're against abilities, isn't going to be a great way to stack this up because within 6 seconds there's not a guarantee that you're going to get hit by another ability within the 6 seconds. So then we look at basic attacks, and obviously the king of basic attacks are hunters. So if you're up against a hunter and you're constantly, not constantly, but you're taking one of the basic attacks, within a 6 second period, then this thing's going to be stacked right up almost from the beginning of the fight till the end of the fight, which is obviously giving you 5 times 5, which is 25 physical protection. And obviously, if you're fighting 2v1 or you've got a mage against you as well, then that's 25 magical protection as well. 25 is a fuckload on boots that cost you like 1,500. 25 of each as well is an absolute titload. So again, I think they're just trying to make the game a little bit more varied, and especially with the boots. So that's interesting. Runeforged Hammer always just sort of been one of those items that is a bit. Well, it is what it is. It's viable on some gods and not on a lot of gods. Increases the aura effect radius from 20 to 30. Should make it a little bit more interesting, but I can't see it being too massive. Shoes of Focus. Now this is fucking huge. From 30 to 40. So that basically means that now pen boots really aren't worth it. Unless you're against like, a team of 5 and they've got 2 tanks, or they've got a tanky lineup with bruisers and all that type of shit. Hello, babe. I'm just recording the patch notes. Alright? So I've got to crack on because the video is going to take ages, alright? So yeah, Shoes of Focus going up in damage. That's going to make pen boots, or purple boots, Shoes of the Magi, slightly redundant in my opinion. If you can get 40 power, all you're dropping is 5 power on Boots of the Magi, and you get the cooldown. So yeah, to me that sounds fucking dope. More boot changes, Jesus Christ. Talaria boots down to 1,400, that sounds about right. And physical power up to 15 because 10 is just unbelievably weak. Some god changes, Bastet. Now I haven't looked at these yet, so I'm sort of doing this on the fly. Her base mana's gone up, that's really good. My god, is she fucking hungry. And her MP5 has gone up as well. Really good, because like I just said, she's fucking hungry. Her pounce mana cost has gone down, so they're obviously trying to make her, playable without Transcendence, because at the moment you can't play without Transcendence unless you buy a shitload of mana pots and constantly go back to base. Obviously later on it's fine, but at the beginning you're fucked. Increased damage on Razor Whip. That's pretty fucking nuts. It's not very much, it's only 5 on each level, but yeah, that is pretty nuts. But they've decreased the physical scaling down to 20%. So that's actually a nerf, guys. It looks like it's a buff because of the top bit, but that's 100% a nerf. So Razor Whip's not going to do as much damage anymore. I thought Razor Whip was actually pretty balanced. If anything, slightly under. So the fact that they've nerfed it, a shitty idea in my opinion. Badshot. Fade away, increased stealth duration from 3 seconds to 5 seconds, from 3 to 5 via ranks, to 4 to 6 now. So your stealth for a little bit longer on Izanami once you've done your fade away. Dark Portal, increased the damage up by 40 at all ranks. No, 40 at the end. And increase the scaling to 130. So obviously I didn't think that was doing enough damage. It is a bit of a skill shot, it's quite hard to land, so maybe you should be rewarded for that. Nemesis, let's see, increases cooldowns. Okay, yeah, so her Divine Judgment, which I think is her shield. She was fucking OP, like, she just is. I think her shield was obviously... Oh, what am I talking about, her shield? It's a 70-second cooldown, that's obviously her ultimate. Which I thought was pretty balanced actually, but okay. Was 70 at all ranks, now it goes from 90 to 70. So definitely worth leveling your ult if you weren't doing it before, because now you need to get down to the the cooldown that it used to be. Some general stuff with Knox, that's not too interesting. New Ask Clay Soldiers updated so that they're a bit more intelligent and attack the right targets by the looks of things. And reduction on the protection shred, which is actually pretty good because, yeah, if you know how to play Noir correctly, she can be fucking devastating. But again, I thought she was balanced, so I'm not really sure if that's needed. Poseidon, his movement speed off of the Tide has gone up to 15%. That's excellent because he's a slow motherfucker. Trident reduced the pre-fire on his ability, so can immediately fire basically. So it's a basic reset, which is good. I have no problem with that. Increase the cooldown on Ravana's Prana Onslaught from 8 to 9 seconds. Probably won't make too much difference, to be honest with you. And reduce the heal per hit down by 5, which is sort of just, yeah, it's alright. It'll make a tiny bit of difference, but not a lot. And Jingtang, this ability will no longer be cancelled by using basic attacks or abilities. So that's good. So that's actually a fix. And here's Whirlwind, decreases the wind up time on the Whirlwind from 1.25 to 1. So in case you didn't know, they increased that about 5 or 6 patches ago. And since then, he's been known as a washing machine because it takes him so fucking long to get started, and you can just see him from a mile away. So it's a very easy ult to dodge. With this, down to 1 second from 1.25 should make a little bit of difference. But yeah, anyway, so that's all the stuff. The major stuff is changes to almost every single boots in the game. Celestial Helm is now one of the strongest, or the strongest, along with Hide of the Nymenian Lion, physical protection item in the game. Yeah, the passive sort of is a little bit specialized, but if you're against the Hunter, just fucking grab it. It's going to be awesome. And some really dope new skins that are coming with the Odyssey. So yeah, it looks alright, guys. Not a bad patch at all. Pretty soon after the last one, and I'm guessing it will be coming on Tuesday, which is going to be, what's that, the 13th? Yeah, Tuesday the 13th of September. All of this will be going live, and you can start the Odyssey event. Woo! Anyway, until then, guys, I shall catch you later. Bye bye.